Good morning, children. Once again, welcome to all of you in this class. Now, we are going to read about the answers of lesson number 5. What is the name of the lesson? Food and health. So far, we have read in this lesson about nutrients, then healthy eating pyramid. This healthy eating pyramid you have made. Then we have read about the balanced diet, the diet which contains all the nutrients in appropriate amount is called balanced diet, and that is very necessary to remain healthy. In this balanced diet, what should be there? Carbohydrates should be there, then protein should be there, then fats should be there, vitamins and minerals. Now about health also we have read. Then diseases, two types of diseases are there, non-communicable disease and communicable disease. Then in non-communicable disease, the diseases that are caused due to the deficiency of any particular vitamins or minerals, and those diseases are also known as deficiency diseases because they are caused due to the lack of some vitamins or minerals. In this we have read about protein carbohydrate deficiency diseases, then this minerals deficiency diseases, then vitamin deficiency diseases. Then we read about communicable diseases. Communicable diseases are spread by insects also and by air, water and soil. Then we read about the prevention of these diseases and then about keywords. In previous two classes you have done ABC parts and D parts. So today now it's time to see the answers of E part, and then I will give you in PDF form which you will write it in your science notebook and then you will submit it on our WhatsApp group. E first question. First you see what is E first question. What is it? How does calcium phosphorus deficiency affect our body? We all know about deficiency diseases, deficiency of minerals. If calcium and phosphorus are not in our body, then what will be there? Which type of disease and what will be the symptoms? So for this answer, we will take out page number. Just take out, see where is written about in that chart calcium and phosphorus deficiency diseases. It will be on page number 52. Take out page number 52. Here you see mineral calcium and phosphorus, and what are the symptoms, means what will happen to our body if calcium and phosphorus is not in our diet, then what will happen? We can write, then here you see two symptoms are given. Weak teeth lose their shine and whiteness. Then weak, soft and fragile bones. We can write, if calcium phosphorus will not be in our body, then our teeth will be weak. They can lose their shine and whiteness also. And then second point we can write, our bones will be weak, soft and fragile. Weak means you know, not strong. Soft means also you know, not hard. And fragile means which can be easily broken. Means if calcium and phosphorus will not be in our body, then it will affect to which part of our body? Our teeth. Teeth will become weak. Then teeth will lose their shine and whiteness. And our bones will be weak. They can become soft and fragile. Fragile means they can be easily broken. So it was the answer of E first part. Now come to E second question. Just see what is E second question, that we have to find out the answers. E second question is, here it is, suggest some measures that can help us to prevent the occurrence of deficiency diseases. You all must be knowing, children, deficiency diseases are also known as non-communicable diseases. They are caused due to what? Due to the deficiency of some proteins, some minerals, some carbohydrates, or some vitamins, some minerals and some vitamins. So these are called deficiency diseases. Then the question is, which measures can help us to prevent the occurrence of deficiency diseases? Means we should do what? So that we should be away from the deficiency diseases. And for that, take out page number. You see here it is written, prevention of deficiency diseases. Yes, here it is written on page number 54. Take out page number 54 and here you see. Here it is written, the deficiency diseases can be prevented by adopting the following measures. In each second answer at the top, what we will write? The deficiency diseases can be prevented by adopting the following measures. First measure we will write, one should take a balanced diet containing all types of nutrients. Here in that picture you have seen what is balanced diet? The diet which contains all the nutrients in appropriate amount are known as balanced diet. Then for the prevention of deficiency diseases, which type of diet we should take? One should take a balanced diet containing all types of nutrients, a diet in which all types of nutrients should be there. Then second is, one must follow good food practices and habits. We should follow good food practices and habits to prevent ourselves, to protect ourselves from deficiency diseases. And what are the good food practices and habits? We should always wash our hands before eating. We should always keep our food covered. We should always eat fresh food. We should not eat spoiled food. These are the good food practices and habits which we should develop to save us from deficiency diseases. Now third is, children must be given adequate amount of milk products and additional food items like juices, soft-boiled rice, porridge, etc. Means children, they need sufficient nutrient for proper growth, for their proper growth. And that's why it is written, children must be given adequate amount of milk. Adequate means what is needed. Which amount is needed for which type of children, which age group of children, that must be given. Not only milk. Here it is also written milk products. What are the milk products? Then the sweets made by the milk. These are the cheese, butter. These are the milk products. We should take it. And additional food item, not only milk and milk products, but additional food items also they should be given, so that protein, carbohydrates, minerals, everything they should get. Like juices of the fruits, then soft boiled rice, porridge, etc. They should get all these items, all these nutrients to save them from the occurrence of deficiency diseases. So it was the answer of E second. Now come to E third answer. First we will see the question. E third question is, how can we prevent the spread of germs from a sick person to a healthy person? Means if germ is spreading from sick person to healthy person, means which type of disease is that? Communicable disease. And how can we prevent the spread of germs from a sick person to a healthy person? These are the various measures are written here. Prevention of communicable diseases. Now we have read about prevention of non-communicable diseases. And now in second answer. Now in third answer, how can we protect the children from one person to or the person from the communicable diseases? These are the measures. We should write this only. At the top we can write, we can save the, what is written in your question, that only we will write. We can prevent the spread of germs from a sick person to healthy person by adopting the following precautions. First one is, all the articles and clothes, means whatever the items or clothes the sick person is using of infected person should be disinfected. How the articles and clothes of infected person can be disinfected? By washing them in warm water, by putting them Dettol into that, we can disinfect. Then second one is, one must always cover the nose or mouth while sneezing or coughing, because small germs can spread through our nose and mouth if we are sick. That's why in this corona disease you must have seen everywhere mask is compulsory. Why wearing mask is compulsory? So that germs will not spread to another person when we sneeze or cough. And here only second method is written. One must always cover the nose or mouth while sneezing or coughing. Third one is, the surroundings. Surroundings means the area where we live, around the area, around our homes, must be kept clean and hygienic. Our area should be clean and hygienic so that germs-free mosquitoes will not come there. The next is, water must not be allowed to stagnate around homes. Why water must not be allowed to stagnate around homes? Because stagnant water is the breeding place of mosquitoes. If water is around our homes, then mosquitoes will be there. And we all know, due to the mosquitoes, bite of mosquitoes, which type of diseases are there? Dengue and malaria. Then fifth one is, it is important to keep on changing the water in room coolers. In coolers, water coolers, room coolers, you must have seen water is being put into that. So we must change it. Otherwise again stagnant water will be there and it will be a breeding place of mosquitoes. Then we should change the water of flower pots also and other containers. Containers means in other pots, where whether it is bucket or anything else, after every 3-4 days. And if not changed, then what will happen? Such water can become the breeding place of dengue mosquitoes. And those mosquitoes will bite us and we may fall sick. Then vaccination must be done to prevent many diseases like measles, polio and chickenpox. When you were small, you just asked to your parents, so many types of vaccinations were given to you. Why? To prevent you from many diseases. Diseases like measles, polio, chickenpox. Nowadays also scientists are trying to develop vaccine against this coronavirus. Why? So that we will not be infected from that virus. So these are the measures through which we can save ourselves from spreading germ from a sick person to healthy person. Now come to fourth question. Fourth question is, Isha was suffering from chickenpox. Her teacher advised her not to come to school till she has recovered completely. Why? What is the question? Isha was suffering from chickenpox. Isha is the name of a girl. That girl was suffering from chickenpox. Chickenpox is a communicable disease. Communicable disease means what? This disease can be spread from one person to another. And as Isha is suffering from chickenpox, so what happened? Her teacher advised her not to come to school till she has recovered completely. Why? We will write in this answer, chickenpox is a communicable disease and this can spread from Isha to other children of the school. That's why her teacher advised her not to come to school till she has recovered completely. Understood? We all know chickenpox is a communicable disease. And as it is a communicable disease, it can be spread from one person to another. So, her teacher advised her because other children might be infected from chickenpox from Isha. That's why her teacher advised her not to come to school till she has recovered completely. Now understood? Now come to fifth question. Why are deficiency diseases called non-communicable diseases? Non-communicable diseases means the disease which cannot spread from one person to another. But these diseases are caused due to the lack of some vitamins, minerals or nutrients. Due to the deficiency of vitamins, minerals or any other nutrients. That's why the deficiency diseases are called non-communicable diseases because it cannot spread from one person to another. What we will write in this answer? In E5th answer, what we will write? Deficiency diseases are called non-communicable diseases because it cannot be transmitted from one person to another. These diseases are caused due to the deficiency of some proteins, minerals or vitamins. Understood? So these are the answers of E5. Value based question next in my previous class only I discussed. So now this lesson has been completed and your today's homework is you have to write all these E5 answers. Although I will give you in PDF form, then also I have explained it also from where you can write, and if you have not understood now also, then you just copy down the answers from the PDF which I will give it to you. Now I think everything is clear to all of you. In our next class, we will start lesson number 6. So that's all for today. Goodbye and thank you.